And with that, the 2024 season comes to an end. Good night.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. Oh my god, I actually miss doing this for you guys. I thought I'd put this microphone on my shirt or something, but I do a lot of movements and I'm just like, let me hold it. I hope that doesn't bother anyone. Also, disclaimer, I have a bit of flu and cough, so if I sound a bit, that's what's up. Pardon me, but I had to do this for you because also this is the only time I've gotten to do this. Anyway, guys, once again, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah Victorious, and I am so happy to be here, and I'm happy to have you here. For the returning subscribers, I know I owe you a huge explanation as to why I've been away for a long time. Before I even get into like the other details of the video, I feel like I owe you the explanation first before I start to talk about the other things that I'm going to mention in this video. So yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, like I said, I owe you guys an explanation for why I have been away for such a long time, and yet I really love doing this. I think I finished, not I think, I did finish uni 2022 towards the end, and the fact that I decided to take a different career path as to what I studied, I needed a lot of time to actually, get this thing going. I did BBA, I did business, and then, after doing that course, I'm like, this is not what I want. And meanwhile, I still find the BBA course very relevant to what I do, but it's just not the one that's earning me the most money. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's the knowledge that is good to have. So when I finished uni, I went into UI UX designing. I bet most of you have not heard of it. So I will explain. Anywho, UI UX designing is basically designing user interfaces. So currently, what I do for a living, I design interfaces. So I design applications and systems and stuff like that. So if you're out there building something and you need it to look beautiful, please contact me. I am the person. I'm going to design for you something that is beautiful and something that is user friendly, something that your people or your targeted users are going to actually find relevant. Yeah. So yeah, with that said, I had to focus on my career a lot, like since I was self-teaching and everything, and also I was new to like the whole work thing. For the whole of last year, I was working with Tubai. I think everyone knew that. So as much as I wouldn't have wanted to expose, it's like everyone knew, oh, you are working here, and I'm so glad I did. Like it was a very lovely experience there. It was also from there that I got my first opportunity as a full-time UI UX designer. Shout out to the Tubayo team. That's where I said the whole UI UX designing thing, and it was going really, really well, I must say. Then after some time, because as a person you keep evolving and you start to maybe want other things for yourself, or you want to expand, or you want to start your own things. So I had to leave. And then anyway, guys, I'm going to tell you about how my year has been because I feel like it will cover everything. And I'd promise to tell you about my year. I had asked you guys to let me know what you'd like to see in this particular video. So that is exactly what I'm going to get into after this part. Yeah, so this year starts, and you know how like you can be having your plans of. I even had a vision board, by the way. It was my first time creating a vision board, and that was from some experience I had when a colleague and I, shout out to Boris Mugisha, we went to speak at the mentorship class, and I saw people presenting vision boards. Also, shout out to the mentorship class. Very amazing concept. Anywho, I was saying, so I sat the year, I've written my resolutions, those things, and I'm such a planner, so I usually want, yeah, yeah. Anywho, so the year started a bit rough, honestly, because I was extremely broke. Like the first quarter was And I don't know if it was just me. Like, if you're, by the way, this video is for us to relate and also share experiences. As much as I'm not sharing mine the most, I feel like I would also like to know about you guys, and maybe we can make more and more content from that. Anyway, yeah, so that I said out a bit rough, honestly, in terms of finances, in terms of so many things. Like, at some point, I was like, of course, with finances, you're thinking, okay, I need to like find other gigs. I need to find another job. I need something, or I need a second job. In fact, I was looking more for like a second job than just looking to leave where I was working. But guys, every time, unfortunately, you have not been the first congratulations I got this year. Like for something that is meaningful to my career, that was for a program I signed up for by She Code Africa. She Code Africa is should I say a community for women in tech? Yeah, I think I mentioned before I'm a woman in tech now. Okay, in case you didn't know, please I am. And yeah, how I got there, that will be a story for another day probably. But yeah, so I'm part of She Code Africa, and I saw that they were putting up this program for people to learn product designing, which is still similar to what I mentioned earlier. UI UX design. The only difference is that product design, you actually, apart from just creating user interfaces that are beautiful and usable, you're also putting into consideration the, what are they called, the goals and aspirations, or whatever interests of the stakeholders or the business people, like the people, you get what I mean. Like, okay, you have created something, is it going to help people make money? So now, for the people that were asking about content creativity, design, everything, this is when I think I sort of answer your question. So I do the course. It went on for like 3 months, and I must say it was such an eye opener, because I really thought I knew what I was doing, and I think I did, but that course showed me that, there's more you need to know. And you see, with these things of technology, like my people in the tech sector or in the tech industry, you always have to be hungry for knowledge, because tech is always evolving. Now you see that the interfaces that are on right now, like the appearance and everything, it's not how it used to be back in the day. You get, so you have to be, yeah, you have to constantly learn, to seek for information, and be in spaces that encourage you to actually grow your knowledge on that particular thing that you are, should I say, doing. Yeah, so I do the course, and I graduate, I get my certificate, and that was, I think, around end of June. So also, I think end of June is when I left Tuvayo. Yes, I designed the Tuvayo app, by the way. Yeah, clap for me, clap for me. And yes, I designed the Tuvayo app. Of course, the other tech person I used to work with, and the CEO used to help me out in some things. So I also need to give them their flowers. But like I said earlier, I am so glad I got the opportunity to actually do that, because, and I'm also glad that Brian trusted me despite me not having the experience. But that whole thing of, I believe you can make this better, and I think I really tried my best. Yeah, so I lived to bio. It was a very tough decision, but I think it needed to be made. I think that's the one, because I quit 2 jobs this year. I'm going to get to that part. So when I left Tubayo, it didn't sit very well with me, but I was like, this decision has to be made. And I'm so glad I made it. But when I made it, I didn't feel good about it at all. I was like, oh, I made to miss this place, because I'd been there for some time, and those guys had sort of, they felt like family to me. So I'm just like, how am I going to go about this? In all this, when I left, I didn't even have another job, by the way.
Are you stupid or something?
I just woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm done. So I sat home. Okay, I didn't sit home. I'm going to get to that part. So that was, I think, start of July. So mid June, yes, mid July. Sorry, mid July, I get an opportunity to tutor at Uganda Christian University, where I did my bachelor's degree from. I was going back to teach design. Like, by the way, by the time someone can trust you to teach other people what you are doing, then you must be really good at it. Not like I'm blowing my own trumpet or anything, but yeah, yeah, first clap for me there also. Anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, so I tutored there for like a week, and it was such a lovely experience. And also, courtesy of the class, the product design class or course that I did earlier in the year, I was able to teach students things that I actually understood. You get. So that was a very lovely experience, and I would definitely love to do it again. I believe another opportunity will come, or maybe I'll start something from it. I don't know, but I'll make it count sometime in the future. But yeah, it was really really good, and like it was. I realized my teachers really go through a lot, and the fact that when I was teaching people, now, this is my experience about the UCU thing. It was just for a week, meanwhile. But still, who am I? I mean, there are people who are better than me in the industry, probably, but it was me who had to go. I am still not blowing my trumpet, but I thank God for these opportunities. So, yeah. So, when I was there, I was teaching our students during their recess, and this was like their last week. Remember, when you're teaching these people, for them, they have not chosen to do design like you chose to do it. You get. So even their rate of understanding or grasping things is probably not going to be as fast. Like it's the thing of you're teaching people how to sing, but some people do not actually have the talent of singing. Does that make sense? So that was the kind of thing I was experiencing. And but it went well. Like it was just nice. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what teachers go through, and I think that teachers deserve their flowers, honestly, because wow, like, yeah, and it was nice interacting with people. Even me, it helped me get more clarity on what I was teaching, and I think when I'm given another opportunity, I'll be able to do it much better. But I also think I did well. Yeah. Anyway, I'll not discredit myself. So yeah. Anyway, so that was in July, and I was very excited. When July ends, in all this, I have no job. Already, by the time I left Bio, I was working on a side project. I'll not expose it, but yeah, I was working on a side project, and somehow, yeah, I got money from it. And then, of course, even my parents were supporting me financially in that time. And I think after, now that was July, so August comes in, and I'm like, okay, this, of course, I'm job hunting, but at some point, I feel like I didn't want to. I also needed time from like working and stuff because this work thing. Once you start, you don't stop until you just say, okay, let me stop. But then you see when you stop, you're also not sure you'll get back into it again. Like you're not sure how you get back into it. It's one thing to say, I'm done working for like a month, then in August I'll go back. Here I'm like, I had to go back, but when is this going to happen? Then in August I got like, another project to work on, and it went on for some time. So August, around I think mid-August, I'm like, let me go and see my brother in Kenya. Why I went is because I was tired of the environment here, and I also felt like there's nothing for me to do here. Like, the projects I'm working on, I do them virtually. Like I don't have to meet the people I'm working with. I just have to show them the work I have done. We have a few Google meetings or Google Meet calls, whatever it's called, but you get what I mean. And then that's it. So yeah, plus also the whole thing of quitting my former job didn't leave me okay mentally because I was accustomed to that whole routine. And now it's like, oh, you just wake up and it's like, what are you going to do? So I decided to go to Kenya towards the end of August, and I spent a whole month there. Oh, guys, that experience in Kenya was very, very amazing. I hope I am in the right spot. I don't know. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so my trip to Kenya was very, very amazing. I think it's one of the best experiences I had this year. Why? Because it opened my thinking on so many things, and it also, should I say, bettered my mindset. You get like, okay, of course, when I was in Kenya, I was staying with my brother, like I mentioned earlier, and even then, I was still doing some of the side projects I was doing, but mostly I went there because I needed some peace of mind, something that I felt like I wasn't getting from this side. So when I was in Kenya, I was there for like a month, and it was nice. First of all, let me first tell you the things I liked in Kenya. I liked the fact that the Uber there is really, really cheap. Like Uber, oh, even here, Uber is cheaper, but I feel like in Kenya it's much cheaper because my trips would be like 6K, 8K, 10, like very nice. Okay, maybe also because I used to take short trips. But here when you're using like self border or something, and no shade on them by the way, it's like 12 bob, and 12,000 is not a lot, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah. And then like there was a whole mindset shift of just seeing people that are in a better economy, and because of being in that environment, you stop attaching importance to very small things. For example, it's like someone saying that they can't maybe spend 100K on an experience because they are not earning that much money. I've realized this money thing is actually a mindset. It's not about you earning a lot of money. It all starts from the mind. You get, like, even you attracting a lot of money into your life, it all starts from your mind. Like, it all starts from how you perceive money and all those things. Like, you have to believe that now here I'm giving you guys a lecture on the whole money thing. You have to believe that money comes to you and you don't look for money. When you believe that you look for money, then money overruns away from you. I don't know if you guys are getting my point, but I could make like a whole video about this. And I'm not saying I have made it yet, but I feel like this mindset has worked for me a lot, in especially that time when I had no job. Like, I didn't have a job, but I was still getting money somehow from projects, from, like, somehow money would find me and I would still be able to be okay. So I feel like with this, when you say, let's say I can't spend 100K because I feel like that's a lot of money, I would rather use it to buy or buy a new duvet or something. I don't know if you guys are getting my point. That's should I say a scarcity mindset? Yeah. So you need to tune your mind into abundance, and that is how you'll be able to attract better things into your life. This applies to so many things. This applies to relationships, this applies to work, like, this applies to everything. It all starts from the mind. It's from your mind that now certain energies start working around your life, and then that determines how far you can go with your opportunities. I hope I make sense with that. So I feel like that's one of the things that I learned from being that side, and I've been trying to, like, get it going in my life as well. Yeah, and then, like, it was just nice being in a better economy. Um, Maybe the only thing I didn't like about Kenya is the food. When you're used to Ugandan food, oh my god, guys! And I'm not saying the food is bad, but Ugandan food is just better, no questions asked. And I came back to Uganda, I was like, oh, I miss this so much. While I was in Kenya, I interviewed for a job, and they tell me, I think 2 weeks before I came back, like, oh, you need to come to office for like a physical interview and stuff like that. Come with your laptop, etc, etc. So I go for the interview. I'm not going to expose where this was. Even on my LinkedIn, you will not find it because I only worked for this place for like about a month and a half, probably. Yeah, so I came back to Uganda mostly because of the job. Otherwise, I felt like I wanted to push like an extra 2 weeks in Kenya. I'd originally planned to go there for 2 weeks, but I was like, like, there's nothing I'm running to. I'm not running to my husband. It's my parents. We talk, online. Like, I really felt like there was really nothing that needed me to come back to this side. So, fast forward to coming back to Uganda. So I come back. I go for the interview, I get the job, I'm very excited. And now, for this particular part of this video, I want you guys to pay very much attention because I'm going to drop a lesson somewhere or a learning point or something. So I come back for the job, and of course, yeah, they tell me, yeah, congratulations, you got in the job, yada, yada, yada. And now with this job, you know how when where I was working before, I told myself, when I leave this place, I want to go somewhere where I am probably getting twice as much as I'm getting here. So let's say if where I was working before, they're giving me maybe 1.5 million, now I want 3 million. I'm not saying they'll give me 1.5 million. I'm just giving an example. If I was earning maybe 500K, I'm like, okay, now I want to earn 1 million. God is like, you know what? Say no more. I will give you that job. Yeah, so I get that job, guys, and it's what I prayed for. Like, you wanted 1 million, you've gotten it, and like, it was all good. So I start the job. Actually, before I say the job, I remember my laptop got spoiled. Like, the screen, I just woke up one day and the screen wasn't working. Like, it was glitching and everything. In all this laptop is the one that helps me make money. So it's the one that has been making money for me when I didn't have a job. So I'm thinking I need to fix it. But also, I was not in a very good financial state at that time. And fixing MacBooks, you never go below 500K. So yeah, the screen had a problem, so they had told me if it's just a small thing, you need to give us 500K and we fix it. But other than that, if you need to get a new screen, you need 1.3 million. Hear me, this is not a lot of money. Remember, I told you not to think that money is a lot. Yeah, but that's besides the point. So I'm thinking, I don't have 1.3 million. Where is it going to come from? So at some point, I was like, this is after I'd gotten that job. P.S. The week before I started that job, a lot of things were going wrong. Of now my laptop, now this, now that, and at some point I'm like, or why just say I'm not going to show up for this job? Because I still had the liberty to say I won't come through. And like I was really going through it that week. And I'm like, but must I really be suffering like this? But I'm like, let me not overthink it. So I eventually start working. And I remember on my second day of office, my second day of going to work, I'm into office, I was using a border. My dad had told me, turn in your border, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, at your border, you save money. Scarcity mindset. Okay, of course you save money, but you know what I mean. Like I was also rushing, and like that where I was working, they were very strict. Some stuff of if you're like 5 minutes late, that puts you sort of like in bad books. I could be exaggerating, but I'm not far from the truth. Anyway, so I get to office and something enters my eye. You guys, like I think entered my eye. I couldn't even see well. I couldn't like I felt so bad. I even got an eye patch. Like it was so bad. And I was thinking, why, when you're of course life can be hard, but there are times when you're like, now here there's got to be a secret message or there's just someone onto me or something. So my parents help me out. I get the eye fixed, blah blah blah, and I get fine, and I get back to work, right? But I'm thinking, is this a sign from God telling me that I'm not supposed to be here, or is this the devil disturbing me? Because it could be one of two things. You get. So anyway, I keep on pushing with work and everything, but then after some time, I say feeling like this job. I say feeling lifeless. I could not. I can't say much about the work we used to do because yeah, non-disclosure agreements and everything. But you guys, that work stressed me so much. It stressed me. You guys, like I say, feeling like I was losing it mentally. And at first, I didn't want to tell my parents because I'm like, oh, like daddy will not be okay with this. So I used to tell my mom because I felt like I didn't think my dad would understand. Though eventually, like when he got to know, I was like, what? Are you serious? You need to leave the job, blah, 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 blah. So eventually, I left that job. And you know how when I mentioned earlier that when I left Tubayo, I was not okay for some time. When I left this place, it was that feeling of relief. Like that's the most relief I'd experienced in a while. I was so relieved. I remember that day I went and did some art therapy at some event I went for later in the evening. And wow, like, and I was so glad I made that decision because while I was working there, it felt like I was getting triggers, like trauma triggers or something. You know, like how, for example, back in the day, when we were in school back in the day, you were scared of the teacher if they came to check the books and you didn't have the diagrams together. Like, I used to get that kind of feeling when I was at work, and I'm like, I shouldn't be feeling like this. Like, I'm a whole adult. Why am I feeling like this? Like, I feel like you also need to you need to talk to yourself and know that there are certain things that are not worth experiencing. Like, at what cost? At the money? Not really. Like I was losing it mentally, and I still feel like the money wasn't worth what I was going through mentally. Oh, but does that make sense? Like I was just no, I was like, nah, not just because of money. But what? Like this is not it for what I'm getting paid and what I'm going through. Mm, yeah, so I decided to stay home. I told, like, of course, my parents are like, yeah, you need to leave Bichi, you can come home, another job will come. And indeed, another job came around. I just said, like, a few weeks ago. And I love, 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 love it. I will not talk much about it. But what am I trying to communicate in all this? That when you're not supposed to be in a particular situation, there's going to be signs left, right, and center. And when you start doing things in your life, when you start a new job, when you meet someone, like when you meet someone new or anything, ask God for a sign, bro. Like it's for me, I take it so seriously to a point that even when I go with someone on a date, I'm going to be like, God, if this person is not for me, show me a sign. And then they would tell you like the wildest shit about themselves, or you'll notice something, or they'll become inconsistent. And also, you need to be very keen on. I feel like I need to just make a video about all these things because for me, that's the one thing that has really sailed my boat this year. Like when you feel like you're not supposed to be, God is going to send you signs and you're not supposed to be in a certain situation anymore, a certain workplace, or even associate with certain people. You will feel a certain energy. I am telling you, and you need to have a high level of discernment to actually know that it is God sending you these signs. So there was that, yeah. And yeah. Today I told you guys I'm giving you out the experience left, right, and center. Anyway, I was still telling you guys about this year. So, in a nutshell, I think this year has been amazing despite everything that happened. And I'm also grateful for the experiences. Like I said before, I'm grateful for the experiences because they have made me a better person. And maybe just a bit of emphasis slash recap, but more of emphasis on some of the things I've talked about. It's okay to want better. Let no one trick you into thinking that it's okay to settle for certain things because that is what so many people are used to. For example, when someone tells you, nah, you see, hang in there because it's very hard to find jobs. I feel like it takes back to also the thing I mentioned earlier of sometimes it's our minds blocking us from, should I say, it's our thinking that's blocking us from inviting certain opportunities to us. You get, because as they are saying, jobs are hard to find. There's someone who doesn't have to look for a job. That's a fact. So you need to believe that you are that person and start acting like that person, and that means you need to put in a lot of work into yourself, and surely God will reward your efforts. Then the other thing is another thing I have learned, and I think this is also because I'm one of those who are very big on protecting my peace, is that when when you've been in a situation where you have had peace of mind, and you've seen the benefits that come with it. Cohen JC once said, peace of mind enables activity in his song Ability. Oh, God, that rhymed. Anyway, yeah, peace of mind enables activity, at least in my experience. And I feel like when you've been in a situation where you know what it's like to have peace, you almost want to kill. Okay, not like you'd kill, but you know what I mean. You want to get rid of anything or steer from anything that takes away your peace. So, if in case you've never experienced it, try to find peace of mind. I'm telling you, it's such a game changer on so many things. You'll be able to do so much with yourself, and you'll be able to, like, it's just wow. Yeah. The other thing is know when to leave a situation when it's not serving you anymore or when it's going to kill you. And that also takes me to a saying I saw sometime, that when you realize that you are on the wrong train, get off the next station. I feel like I explained this somewhere on my TikTok. So you can go through my TikTok and find that video. But yeah, also if you'd like me to shed a little more light on some of these things, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Please, I am here now. I promise to be more consistent, and maybe now I should talk about what you guys should expect from the channel in the next few maybe months or whatever. I think I'll be doing more vlogs, but then yeah, of course, I believe I'll be doing more vlogs, and maybe if you guys would like me to talk about certain topics, please feel free to let me know. It could be about my career, it could be about life, relationships, not so much because currently I'm not in one, so I don't think I'm the best person. But you see, the coaches don't play, so I think you can still ask me. I feel like there's so much I've learned, and also, oh my god, yeah, this was here. This was here. Yes. Anyway, I was saying, yeah, there's so much I've learned, and I feel like I can still give advice accordingly because you know how sometimes we think. I used to think like being in a perfect relationship is about you not cheating and everything, but there's a lot more I've learned over the years, and I feel like when God brings the right person for me, I will be, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I am so glad you stuck around, and feel free to let me know what you've also learned through the year. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Until next time, peace and love.